I hope our delegates are having a fabulous time, having a look at our partner booths, interacting with them, getting to know them better, also getting a chance for a lot of interaction activities that we've planned for you in our lobby area. There are some photo booths, the social wall, everything's up for you. Do remember to tag us each time you head to your social media using our hashtag #ETDataCenter, as we bring to you a very interesting fireside chat on digital infrastructure and data center deployment, exploring the dynamics. We all believe that the future of data centers will rely on cloud, on infrastructure, and more powerful devices. The number of ways to deploy a data center and the enabling technologies are truly undergoing a radical shift. This session will elaborate on the new technologies that accelerate the shift and the ones that will be needed in the future. Joining us now to moderate the session is Mr. Alekh Tiwari, partner KPMG India. And joining us in this very interesting conversation and fireside chat is Mr. Ellis Wang, Senior Executive Vice President, Group Head of Technology, Transformation and Information, Mashreq Bank. Let's look forward to this fireside chat.
Thank you very much, Isha, for the introduction. I'm joined in today by Ellis Wang. He's the Group Head of Technology for Mashreq Bank. Ellis, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
So, in line with the theme of the discussion today, technology transformation across the world is happening at a pace which is much more disruptive and rapid now. Every organization is going through a digital transformation journey. What we have seen also evolve along with digital transformation is the amount of data which is getting generated and the amount of data which is getting spread and then stored. And this is driving a sea change and the entire shift in the space of data centers. Data centers today globally are one of the hottest sectors within technology. There is an evolution on multiple areas in data centers, starting from hyperscalers to containerization to edge data centers and many others. Getting right away to a discussion to hear Ellis' views on this. Ellis, how and you lead one of the largest banks, right? And you would have definitely undertaken a digital transformation journey for them. So, in your view, what is the role of data centers and how it is going to change or how it is evolving in this age of driving digital transformation for organizations?
Yeah, thank you for that question. As a bank, actually, we own our own data center before because we need to keep the customer data and run the application on top of the data center. So before, as a bank, we run the data center and run application as a vertical. So that means we build our own data center, we have our own governance, and we run application, monitor the daily operation. That is the we did in before. But since COVID, the COVID actually pushed everybody go to the cloud. So we start to run the cloud operation with the data center together. So the new challenge for the digital transformation is how we to secure the data in the data center and run application on the cloud. We call this model is a hybrid operation. Because when we put the application run in the cloud, that means we can have the more easier to integrate with the omni-channel. But data is still very important, especially like the customer data, payment data, we will have to keep in our data center. So hybrid mode for the data center operation is the new challenge to the bank.
So Ellis, that's interesting. You talked about hybrid, some data getting stored in data centers, some data getting stored in cloud, right? That actually generates two more questions in my mind. One is, nowadays with data getting stored in multiple, in a very decentralized manner as compared to earlier days when data was getting stored in one place, today it is stored in multiple places. How does an organization control the security, right, and privacy of the entire data from an architecture perspective that, and especially like you talked about bank, the data is very, very critical, right? It's getting stored in multiple places. So how does the privacy play out?
Yeah, actually, that is a good question, and that is also a very big question. So when we talk about data, they have a different type of data, like structured data. That means the customer data you own, and when you let the customer onboarding, you got a name, telephone address, and some of the information is very personalized. But we also got the data we call unstructured data, like email, like IVR from the call center. So the data have a different type of data and have a different type of media of the data. Some data is text, some data is the voice, some data is from text. So when we talk about our data, actually it's quite, we need to define a different category for how we to manage the data. The most important as a bank is the customer data. That is the personal data about who you are and how I can reach you by identify the telephone number or your address or your salary or your payment. People concerned about the private data, that the data need to keep in the data center and follow the central bank guidelines. So for that kind of data, actually is more need to put the governments when the people or application or the bank to use it, because that data is very sensitive, it's very private, it's a lot of privacy data, so we need to really manage it well. But since we move to the cloud and we run the operation in different country, so that means our application running on the cloud integrate with a different local omni-channel. Some of the channel we leverage like Instagram. Some channel we leverage the WhatsApp, Facebook. So you have to integrate and change some of the group data. That group data is unstructured data. It's more like talking to potential group, and you can find a potential customer. So when we talk about our data, we have to really understand what the data you have to keep and monitor and have a governance on it is more especially on the customer personal data. And beside that, we can define the integration layer for the inside and outside data, because sometimes you need to share some information for, I'm looking for the female people, and she had the salary between 20,000 to 40,000, something like that. Then we can have the more leverage synergy with the omni-channel. So that is the new challenge. We need to run on structured data with a different partner and keep the important customer profile data and management in our data center.
Got it. And a quick last question on this, Alice, from a data center player's proposition perspective, right? You talked about hybrid, right? That's a very important input for data centers players to develop their own proposition. Any other trends, right, which organizations like Mashreq Bank and others, any other technology trends which are driving your business today and impacting your business today, which you think will have an impact on the proposition of the data center players?
Yeah, I think because as a bank, we try to leverage some of the emerging technology like AI, like a data operation. So we need to build a new framework we call a digital GRC framework. As a bank, we follow the central bank guideline. For example, how you to mitigate the risk and put the governments on all of the process, include customer data. But since we go the hybrid mode, so application is not just run on your own data center, it's running on somewhere in the cloud, in different country, but data still keep it in your data center. So you need to build a framework, a middleware. We call it digital GRC framework. The GRC means the governance, risk, and compliance. And different country, their central bank have a different requirement, especially for how you to access the data, how you to touch your customer. So the digital GRC is the new things we need to build in on top of the data center to link with the cloud operation. And things that when you apply like a frog system, AI operation, you have to link with your digital GRC framework, because everybody knows the AI is more like a black box. When the AI start to monitor your customer activity, how you know he access the right data. And if have something happen, how you can trace back to your AI algorithm to know what data they already access. So that is the new challenge for all of the industry, especially for bank, because before we have our own data center, is centralized management. Now we are run hybrid. That's more, we say we are run the decentralized. So how you to mitigate the risk? That's the new challenge, especially when we have a new technology plug-in, AI facial recognition, biometric, voice banking, Apple Pay, Apple Watch payment. It's all new IoT. How you to link the new IoT and the AI together and your data center operation together. That's the new challenge.
Got it. Yeah, got it. So I think, so, great takeaways here. Alice, thanks for all the inputs. My key points, my key takeaways, I think on the digital transformation, you talked a lot about omni-channel, and that omni-channel actually leads to a very important element from a data center strategy, which is developing and enabling hybrid, right? Hybrid model, hybrid cloud, which also brings me back to some of the propositions that people are creating, where they call their offering as an infinite data center offering, right? Or infinitely scalable, which means you use on-premise, but you automatically have a cloud and you can just grow as you want, as much as you want. So I think that's an important offering for them. Thanks for sharing on the digital products journey that Mashreq Bank has taken on the transformation side, omni-channel, a digital, requiring a digital team to drive all of this, and the impact it has on data center players. I hope our viewers and listeners found it useful. Thank you very much again, Alice, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.